welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the love shown to my first YouTube video that I posted last week. Thank you for the subscription, the comments and the likes. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And when you do so, please click on the notification bell next to it. What a notification bell means is that you get a notification each time I post a new video. And subscriptions are absolutely free. So thank you so much. And today I want to talk about a very taboo subject. I want to talk about a topic that is so sensitive and so dear to me, and it's something I've been wanting to talk about for so long because it's something that I personally went through. And I have my drink right here, so pause the video, go get your drink, get your cup of tea, get your glass of something, and let's have this conversation. Okay, so I want to start the conversation by giving you guys a bit of background about myself. So I grew up with my mother and my sister, and most of my life I stayed with my aunt who also had two daughters, right? So my idea of family has always been female. It's all I knew. I never knew my dad. I never had a brother, right? And in 2013, my sister passed away in a car accident. 3 months later, my mother lost her battle to liver cancer, and I kind of was left to figure it out on my own. And I wasn't aware of the void that had created in me until I was pregnant. So after we found out we were pregnant, we were very quick to find out we were pregnant, because I'm somebody who's very in check of what is happening in my body, right? I found out very early on I was pregnant. Then we went to the doctor and we did the pregnancy confirmation, and yes, we were pregnant. And in a few weeks we went for my first checkup, and while I was there we tried to see if we would be able to see the gender, and the doctor said it looked like it might be a girl. It's still very early on, so I'm gonna need you to come back in a few weeks. Then okay, that happened, and then that was it. In my mind, the fact that the doctor said it might be a girl was confirmation enough for me. You know, because I knew I was having a girl. I never even considered the possibility of having a boy child. And then after a few weeks, we had and then somebody who did not know I was pregnant had said that they assumed I was pregnant with a girl, and that to me was confirmation. That was it. We started buying pink clothes. We had a name for our baby girl. That was it. We were having a daughter. We forgot that the doctor said it's just a possibility, it's too soon, we need to come back. And then we went again for my medical checkup, and this time when we did the check, was the penis not vivid? It was just so clear. It was obvious we were having a boy child, and I lost it. I immediately went, no way, there's no way. I started crying, and the lady was like, which means if you don't want him, then just give him to me, which made me furious. I did not understand how this person thought I could not want my child. You know, I felt the fact that I'm disappointed by the gender does not mean I don't want my child. I was mad, you know. And I remember storming out of the doctor's office, and we had to go back and sit in the reception area because we still had some documents we needed to fill in. And while I was sitting there, I was crying, and everybody was looking at us. And one of the ladies that day was having complications with her pregnancy, which made me feel so bad that here's this person who is going through complications in their pregnancy, and I'm here with such a minor problem, and I am here crying. Everybody probably thought I lost my child or something, and it wasn't even something that hectic, but it seemed so real to me in that moment, you know. And also what made me feel bad was my husband. I felt bad because I imagined if it was the other way around, how I would feel. If we are pregnant, he's excited, and I'm here crying just because of gender. I imagined how I would feel if he was the one making a fuss out of gender. And that made me kind of withdraw from talking to him as well about the topic. So I fell into this season of depression. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it, including my husband. I just, because of the amount of rejection you get around that topic, or insult, or criticism rather, I just felt I couldn't talk about this, because everybody would be like, how you worried about gender? People are struggling to fall pregnant. You worried about gender? Your baby is healthy, you should be grateful. So it makes you shut people out, and it makes you go through this whole difficult season alone, which was something very difficult, because also I was dealing with mom guilt, because I was feeling guilty for being so stressed, and because I felt like I was putting my unborn baby under all this unnecessary stress by just being worried about the gender. But truth is, I was scared to have I did not want to have a boy child due to fear, and I did not realize it immediately. I was fearful as to, I've never had a father, I've never had a brother. How am I going to care for this boy child? What man values am I going to instill into this child if I've never had an example of a man in my life? And it took me doing a lot of self-introspection and spending a lot of time with God to realize what was really happening. I was at a time of an awakening to a void I had in me that I wasn't aware of. Losing my mother and losing my sister that way left a void in me that I subconsciously felt having a girl child would feel. Which I'm so glad didn't happen, because the relationship was going to be so unhealthy. Because clearly I was going to use my daughter to feel me. You can't use anybody to feel you, You need to be full in yourself, and out of that abundance pour into other people. Nobody can feel you, And I felt like that relationship was going to be so unhealthy, because I was going to be too clingy to my daughter, and the older she got, she just would rush to grow up and move out of home just so she can have some space to breathe, because I have clinged so unhealthily to her. And it took me having a boy child to realize that, because I had to find the source, the very core to why I was feeling how I was feeling. And I realized I had that void, and me having deal with that made me heal, in a sense. I always say my boy healed me, And so I just wanted to say that, if you are going through gender disappointment right now, allow yourself to locate its source, to locate what the root to that problem is, and don't feel bad about it. Gender disappointment is a thing. It is real. And one of the reasons I wanted to make a YouTube video about this is because one of the things that helped me during my season with it, or my experience with it, was YouTube. I came to YouTube and I realized other women go through this. It's a real thing. It exists. I felt better in knowing that there was support, to hear another person's story brought a sense of healing to me. And I want you to be able to watch this video and be like, oh, so I'm not alone. So I'm not being selfish to feel this way, but I need to find the root as to why I'm feeling this way. I had a void and a fear. I had experienced a great loss in my life, and I had a fear because I had not been around an example of a man. But now the problem was, I was not aware that during all of this, I completely dismissed my husband. my husband in his role as a parent, I was wondering, I would ask myself questions like, how am I even gonna teach this boy how to clean his boy parts and stuff like that? Because I just did not, I felt like I don't even know where to start, but his dad was there. His dad was there to be his example of what a man is. His dad was there to instill the male values I was so concerned about, and to teach him male things that maybe I couldn't. I did not realize that. And what made me realize that was only after he was born, when I think he was a few weeks old, and I went to the salon to get my hair done, right? And while I was there, before I left, I pumped for him and everything, and I went to the salon and left him with his dad. And when I came back, I was so thankful to my husband. I was like, oh, thank you so much for taking care of him, and thank you. I was just expressing this gratitude, and my husband was just surprised. And very calmly, he sat me down, and he was like, tell me, do you feel like I am helping you by being a parent to my son? I was like, what do you mean? And he said, I am not helping you by parenting our son. As much responsibility as you have over him, I have just as much responsibility over him. If you are going to feed him, watch him, clothe him, and all of that, I am going to do that too. I am his parent. Guys, I can't tell you. It was like a light bulb moment. It was only in that I realized that all this time I was not considering this person. Because the way I was brought up, if anything were to happen in my life, it was because my mother did it. My dad was never there. And it affected me unto marriage. And it took me and my husband having that conversation to realize that I had not been accommodating him that way. He was there all along, but I was not seeing him because of how my mind was programmed to think, I guess. So I had to have a renewal of mind. I had to change my mindset. I had to realize that I am not doing it alone. This child is not mine alone. And we have been working together as a team, and we have been doing such an incredible job, I believe. I think we are doing great, and it took my son being born for me to realize that I needed to heal. And now I am pregnant and I'm expecting a girl, and I feel it's healthy. It's not a thing of overexcitement because now it's a girl, and I'm not any more excited now than I would be had it been a boy. In fact, a part of me was kind of hoping I have a boy so that my little boy has a boyfriend for life to play with and grow with and all of that. So I healed from that obsessive expectation of having a girl child, and God blessed me. Sorry about that. And God blessed me with a girl child 5 months later, because I got pregnant with my daughter when my son was 5 months old, and yeah, I guess my son's name makes sense now. His name is Kairos, which means God's perfect timing. And I think he came at the right time for the right reasons, not just to heal me, but I believe that is the prophecy over his life, the perfect time of God for his life. I believe that he will live in that. You can be at the right place, but if it's not the right time, then you know what I mean, it won't work out. But it's important to do things within the right timing, at the right place, for the right purpose. And that is just what I speak over his life. And I love him so much. I wasn't aware I would love him so much, and my problem was just obsessing over gender due to my upbringing. So I just want to say to somebody, be more considerate of people when they go through this. Some people, they go through gender disappointment. Maybe the person was raped and they associate the whole male gender with being monsters because of their experience. And then they found out they are pregnant with a boy child. Can you imagine what that person is going through? Firstly, how are you going to speak life over a child that already subconsciously you think is a monster? You understand? So people go through so many things. There's so many factors that contribute to one being disappointed by being disappointed by finding out the gender of their child. So let's be more sensitive around that topic. And if you are going through it, I went through it and I'm over it. You will too. There's a healing, there's a future. It's not the end. And if you know of somebody who is going through it, be a little more sensitive. At least you got some education to understand actually what causes such things, And yeah, let us be more sensitive towards issues around pregnancy in general. Pregnancy is such a sensitive topic, so let us just be more sensitive towards pregnant people and how they react to certain things, because prenatal, postnatal depression are things that are a reality, and they are so difficult to go through without the necessary support. And I hope I contribute towards your community of support that you need just to get over that phase. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps someone. If it helps just one person, then my job here is done. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Please like the video if it at all helped you in any way. And please leave a comment. Let me know what it was like for you finding out your child's gender for the first time. And yeah, thank you so much. Until next week, I love you so much.